This video will cover the rules for Shogun Chess. Shogun Chess was a variant created by Couch Tomato in 2020. The goal of the game design was to create a game where hybrid pieces like the Archbishop and Chancellor found in games like Capablanca Chess and S-Chess can exist in a game without overcrowding the board with too many major pieces. The game was also designed so that it could fit on a standard 8x8 board. Ultimately, the rules came down to mixing chess rules with shogi rules in order to make this happen. So let's start with the differences in rules. Each piece has its own unique promotion. In other words, a pawn doesn't have the option of promoting to multiple things, it promotes to one thing, but the rook also promotes and the knight also promotes. These promotions happen in the last 3 ranks, which is the promotion zone. And on top of that, pieces you capture can be dropped back onto the board, just like in Crazy House. There are 2 major differences from Crazy House though. The first is that you can only drop pieces outside of the promotion zone, so in the first 5 ranks. The second is that there is no restriction for pawn drops in the first rank. If you capture an enemy piece that's promoted, it comes back into your hand in its demoted form. Let me expand a little bit on the promotion rules over here. The most basic way to promote is to move a piece into the promotion zone. So for example, moving this knight into the last 3 ranks will promote it into its promoted form, the general. But you can also have the option of not promoting, and as I'll discuss later, sometimes you cannot promote. So another way to promote is if you start your turn within a promotion zone, then you can also promote. So for example, even if I move outside of a promotion zone, I can still promote. And of course, if I move from within the promotion zone to another spot within the promotion zone, then that's also a promotion. Finally, if a pawn reaches the last rank, it has no choice but to promote to its promoted form, the captain. So as you can see, individual piece promotions as well as the ability to drop captured pieces, these should be familiar to anyone who's played shogi before. Alright, so the rest of the rules are best summarized in this cheat sheet I have over here. Each original piece has a corresponding new piece that, for most of them, is a promotion with the exception of the queen. The queen is special because it actually starts promoted, but when you capture a queen, it comes back into your hand as an unpromoted version, which is a duchess. So I'll just go in order here. So since I was just talking about the duchess is just a piece that moves 1 square diagonally. That's it. It's like a 1 square bishop. People who are familiar with chess variants may also know this as the furs, but in this game we call it the duchess. And once you get it to the last 3 ranks, it can promote back to a queen. As for the rest of the pieces, when it comes to promotions, the general rule is if you can add knight movement, but otherwise if you can't, add king movement. So what do I mean by can't add knight movement? Well, there are 2 pieces that would make that awkward. For starters, there's the knight, so you can't add knight movement because the knight already has a knight movement. So the rule for these pieces is to add king movement. So the knight promotes to a general, which becomes a knight plus a king. And similarly for the pawn, if you add knight movement, it becomes awkward and mostly still just stays a knight. So instead, a pawn becomes a captain, which is a piece that moves exactly like the king. And then finally, there's the rook and the bishop. These promote to knight hybrids, just like in Capablanca Chess. The first is the rook, which promotes to a mortar, and the bishop promotes to an archbishop. And again, these moves are fairly straightforward. You just take the original rook and bishop moves and combine them with the knight. Finally, there is one additional rule, and that is that any major promoted piece, so all the 4 pieces highlighted in this yellow box, basically everything that's not the captain, you can only have one of these per side. So for example, if you promote one of your rooks to a mortar, then if you manage to get a second rook to the promotion zone, you cannot promote until you lose your first mortar. And this promotion happens with the same promotion rules, so the rook would have to either move into the promotion zone or move from the promotion zone. So those are all the rules for Shogun Chess. And some might be wondering, why is the king also colored like a promoted unit? And that's just mainly for aesthetic symmetry. And the king is an important piece as well. So if you'd like to see more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe.